An article was recently published on Vanity Fair by James Wolcott titled, "Why the Alt-Left is a Problem Too." Now, if you're scratching your head thinking, what is the alt-left, you're not alone. Because the fact is, there's no such thing as the alt-left. There is the populist left / the radical left, we call it both, but there is no new, distinct, alternative left. The alt-right, while similar to other racist movements, is distinct from both mainstream conservatism and more traditional extreme right movements such as the neo-Nazis, both ideologically and strategically. Unlike mainstream conservatism, they reject the idea of multiculturalism and the idea of neoliberalism, yet at the same time, they also reject the neo-Nazis in their strategies particularly, and they also pursue a more moderate course that doesn't involve mass genocide. It's still disgusting, but there are distinct differences. There is no such movement on the left, however. The left-wing factions that have been seeing a resurgence are not ideologically distinct from previous left-wing movements. They are the inheritors of the past movements, and while the alt-right is something entirely new. The term alt-left was simply made up by conservatives, that's why we've heard it on Fox News quite a bit recently, and third-way Democrats in order to attack socialists, Greens, and others on the radical left by comparing us to the alt-right. Because apparently not liking neoliberal identity politics, which actually only serve to further oppression of all of us, and not liking Hillary Clinton and being disillusioned with the Obama administration is the same thing as the alt-right. But the thing is, we were doing all those things before the alt-right even existed. This article is just another example of the lack of self-awareness that the liberal establishment has. The article actually calls for the deep state to implement a coup against Trump. I'm just simply baffled by how they cannot see that Trump is merely a symptom of the disease which exists within our society, our government, and our economy. They seem to think that by propping up the system and defending it, that we can solve the problem, when the fact is that that system they're propping up is the problem. These people are not the resistance, and we must oppose them as much as we oppose Trump, because if we want to stop Trump, we must stop the system that we currently have and build a new one. This is just the fact of the matter. This nonsense that we're hearing from the third-way Democrats and the neoliberals is just ridiculous, and we cannot fall for it. This has been another episode of Left Not Liberal. I hope you all like the new format I'm trying out. Please let me know in the comments below. I'm going to do an episode on the French presidential election later this month, where I will be talking about Benoît Hamon and Jean-Luc Mélenchon and letting people know what I think about that. Thank you, and as always, solidarity.